and welcome back to another episode of Rational Programming. Last week, on last week's show, we spoke about building an app, basically, how to help estate agents organize their days, organize their viewings. If I go out of this office, who am I going to see? Where am I going to meet them? And what time? The app that I want to make is to make the life of an estate agent that much easier. So they have all that information right in front of them. And the reason why I wanted to do that was because I used to work as an estate agent myself. So that was on last week's episode. And basically, I was supposed to come back this week and tell you how my week went building this app so far. But before I do that, I want to speak to you about why I'm even learning coding or programming or React, or what is React. So first of all, React. What is React? React is a JavaScript library that helps you build user interfaces. Example. So how did I get involved in coding, programming? A year ago, I used to be in sales and I wanted to move into recruitment, IT recruitment. However, my first interview, I didn't know anything about IT. They were asking me questions about IT. So I wondered, how can I recruit someone in IT as a recruiter if I don't even know anything about IT myself? So I realized I have to learn IT. I have to learn coding myself. So I started learning coding in order to become a recruiter. And as I started learning coding, I realized that I really like this stuff. I really like how it's not like sales, where it's pitches and tactics, whereas programming is more about systems and concepts. Oh, perfect. Perfect fit for me, for what I want to do. It helps me build, helps me create, and go back and improve upon it. Now, you can do that in sales. I just like computers more. So, since then, a year into it, I realized that I'm going to learn this stuff. And instead of becoming a recruiter, I'm going to become the guy that they recruit. However, I realized from a rational standpoint, I don't know anything about programming. I don't have no background at all in IT. I didn't study it in university. So, what do I do? I have to learn. And I have to take my time and learn this stuff so I don't feel uncomfortable when I start working or building projects for customers. So I know what I'm talking about as well. And it's really important to be honest, I think, about what you don't know. And that's why I decided to make a YouTube channel, was to talk about what I don't know, basically, and to share it with you all, simply because it helps me get out of my comfort zone, and also it helps me learn as well by understanding my weaknesses as a programmer. So that's why I got involved in programming. So a year's passed and I learned HTML, I learned CSS, and I learned the basics of JavaScript. I did this using tutorials. I did this using books, and they were helpful. They were good. I built a website. That probably helped me learn the most about how to use all of the new skills I'd learned to some extent. So now I'm moving on to using a JavaScript library, which I defined earlier, React. And in the last video, I basically got bored of learning through tutorials because they would explain things to me, but not quite fully. I needed more answers. And so I realized that from a rational standpoint, rationally thinking, I needed to go out and just build something. Just build something, come up with an idea, create something of my own. That's fun too, is creating. So why not start now as a learning process? Do what you're going to be doing anyway. I won't be learning tutorials. I won't be using tutorials. I want to learn how to build an application of my imagination, something that I can create and build and bring to life. So, how did the week go? Last week was a shocker. A friend reached out to me, said, "Hey, Pat, I watched the video. It was good. So, who's the app for?" I said, "It's for an estate agent." He said, "But which estate agent?" I said, "I don't know. Any estate agent." He said, "But what are they like?" I said, "I don't know." He said, "Okay, so why would they buy your product? What use would they have?" Maybe they're really organized. Maybe they don't need an app. So who are you selling the product to? Why do they need it? Who wants it? And so I had to come up with what he named personas. Now, I came up with personas. They weren't real. I made them up, but I diversified between three people that worked in estate agents. So you would have the senior, you would have the branch manager, and you would have someone brand new. And I spoke about their strengths and weaknesses, some fun facts about them too, whether they had any technical experiences in technology in computers. That helped as well to discuss that as well. So I made a framework or a mind map, if you would like to call it, and basically designed my app based on their needs. So one of the questions was, why would they buy this product? Why do they need this product? So I had to answer those questions. Next in line was the database. What kind of information am I holding and giving back to them, and are they storing? So I had to create a map of the database, how the database works, what's going to be inside of it. So naturally, you have the appointments, you have the properties, and you have the customers as well. And for the appointments, you obviously have the time, you have the date, and in there you have the properties and the customers as well. Then you have the properties, address, how much is the property, where is it, like I said, the address, and also the customers and the appointments. And then we have the customers. So the customers, were they hot, were they cold, were they warm towards buying the property or renting the property? I have all this information in the database so they can just pull it up. And obviously on the customer list database, they have the property and the appointment. So you could bring up a property, and on that property for that day, you have your appointments and your customers for that day. Or you could bring up the customers if you're looking up someone's name. Were they booked in for today? I can look up, for which property and for what time. So now I have the data that I need to implement on a database for my website. Next section. What is the journey of the website? Where do I start? If I'm holding my tablet, or if I'm online on my laptop, or on my phone, where do I start? Do I sign in? Right? It's going to have data on there, so it's got to be locked up. So I sign in. I forgot my password. So I need a page for password recovery. Fantastic. So I've realized I need a database for passwords. Fantastic. What's next? Homepage. What's on the homepage? We have appointments. I can go on, look at my appointments. What else is on the homepage? Properties, customers. Do I need to add a customer? Do I need to delete a customer? Did I just serve a customer? Did we just go on a viewing? Do I need to delete an appointment? Do I need to add a property or delete a property? So now we have a map of the journey through the website, which is the visual representation of the product. Now, why is this important? Why is this on the show of rational thinking? Because I am now learning how to engineer. We are like builders of a house. You design the house first on paper. You have a vision in your mind of what it looks like. What are we building? What does it look like? Explain to me the vision. I'm building the house. How would you like it built? This is the most rational process of building something and bringing it into existence, as opposed to learning how to code. It's like learning what a brick is or learning what mortar is. What do you want to build? What are you envisioning to build? Then you go out and find the tools for it. And that's how you learn which tools work best for which vision. So each vision I come up with is my own learning curve, learning tool for me to go around or to use. And so this week I didn't even code, no coding at all. Today was a process of envisioning, a process of understanding what my product will look like. And that for me was the biggest learning process, biggest learning curve. Becoming a programmer is you need to have a vision, an idea that you're building. You need to have a blueprint of what it is you want to code or program. Once you have the blueprint and the vision, then you can start coding and you start applying the appropriate programming skills and coding skills and libraries that you need in order to achieve that goal. And that was awesome for me. I mean, it's fun now because I know what I want to build. I know what I need to, look for in the build, what's important. I'm more focused now going into next week. And I'm really happy I get to share this with you because as you can tell, I'm really excited about it as well. This was amazing. This was the biggest lesson and something I will definitely use in the future on all my projects as a programmer. Before I start coding, I have to start planning, envisioning, drawing, brainstorming, understanding personalities. What do they want? Why would they want my product? This is the most rational way of thinking that I've learned on my journey in becoming a programmer and learning how to code. And so next week, we will be coding, hopefully, and I will have more lessons that I've learned that I'll be able to share with you, and you'll be very happy to see, the progression, because it's your progression as well. And so I'm very, very excited to share this journey with you. So till next time, I'll see you on the next episode of Rational Programming.